I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. You have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. Why do I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? How do I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Did I always have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? I always have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. You always have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. Why do I always have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? How do I always have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Did I always have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? I got the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. You got the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. How did I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Why do I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Did I always have the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? The iPhone 14 Pro Max is 999 billion% of the time. The iPhone 14 Pro Max is worth 999 billion% of the time. How's the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Why is the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Is the iPhone 14 Pro Max always 999 billion% of the time? I get deals on the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. You get deals on the iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. How do I get deals on the iPhone Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Why do I get deals on the iPhone Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Did I always get deals on the iPhone Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? I always have the best iPhones 999 billion% of the time. You always have the best iPhones 999 billion% of the time. How do I always have the best iPhones 999 billion% of the time? Why do I always have the best iPhones 999 billion% of the time? Did I always have the best iPhones 999 billion% of the time? I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max right now. You have the iPhone 14 Pro Max right now. How do I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max right now? Why do I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max right now? Did I always have the iPhone 14 Pro Max? I am holding the iPhone 14 Pro Max right now. You are holding the iPhone 14 Pro Max right now. Why am I holding the iPhone 14 Pro Max right now? How am I holding the iPhone 14 Pro Max right now? Was I always holding the iPhone 14 Pro Max? I have my desired colored iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. You have your desired colored iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. Why do I have my desired colored iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? How do I have my desired colored iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Did I always have my desired colored 14 Pro Max? I have my desired case for my iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. You have your desired case for your iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. How do I have my desired case for my iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Why do I have my desired case for my iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Did I always have my desired case for my iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? I have my desired phone case. You have your desired phone case. Why do I have my desired phone case? How do I have my desired phone case? Did I always have my desired phone case? I have my desired amount of storage for my iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. You have your desired amount of storage for your iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time. How do I have my desired amount of storage for my iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Why do I have my desired amount of storage for my iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? Did I always have my desired amount of storage for my iPhone 14 Pro Max 999 billion% of the time? I got my iPhone 14 Pro Max. You got your iPhone 14 Pro Max. How did I get my iPhone 14 Pro Max? Why did I get my iPhone 14 Pro Max? Did I get my iPhone 14 Pro Max? I always get what I desire 999 billion% of the time. You always get what you desire 999 billion% of the time. How do I always get what I desire 999 billion% of the time? Why do I always get what I desire 999 billion% of the time? Did I always get what I desired 999 billion% of the time? I get what I desire immediately 999 billion% of the time. You get what you desire immediately 999 billion% of the time. How do I get what I desire immediately 999 billion% of the time? Why do I get what I desire immediately 999 billion% of the time? Did I always get what I desired immediately 999 billion% of the time? I got my iPhone 14 Pro Max immediately after the Subliminal. You got your iPhone 14 Pro Max immediately after the Subliminal. How did I get my iPhone 14 Pro Max immediately after the Subliminal? Why did I get my iPhone 14 Pro Max immediately after the Subliminal? Did I really just get my iPhone 14 Pro Max immediately after the Subliminal? I got the iPhone 14 Pro Max immediately after the subliminal 999 billion% of the time I effortlessly manifested the iPhone 14 Max. The effortlessly manifested the iPhone 14 Pro Max. How did I effortlessly manifest the iPhone 14 Pro Max? Why did I effortlessly manifest the iPhone 14 Pro Max? Was I always able to effortlessly manifest the iPhone 14 Pro Max? I effortlessly attracted the iPhone 14 Pro Max. We effortlessly attracted the iPhone 14 Pro Max. How did I effortlessly attract the iPhone 14 Pro Max? Why did I effortlessly attract the iPhone 14 Pro Max? Was I always able to effortlessly attract the iPhone 14 Pro Max? I always get immediate results 999 billion% of the time. You always get immediate results 999 billion% of the time. How do I always get immediate results 999 billion% of the time? Why do I always get immediate results 999 billion% of the time? Did I always get immediate results 999 billion% of the time? I always get immediate subliminal results 999 billion% of the time. You always get immediate subliminal results 999 billion% of the time. How do I always get immediate subliminal results 999 billion% of the time? Why do I always get immediate subliminal results 999 billion% of the time? Did I always get immediate subliminal results 999 billion% of the time? I always get the best apple products 999 billion% of the time. You always get the best apple products 999 billion% of the time. How do I always get the best apple products 999 billion% of the time? Why do I always get the best apple products 999 billion% of the time? Do I always get the best apple products 999 billion% of the time? I always get my desired apple products 999 billion% of the time. You always get your desired apple products 999 billion% of the time. How do I always get my desired apple products 999 billion% of the time? Why do I always get my desired apple products 999 billion% of the time? Do I always get my desired apple products 999 billion% of the time?